Hello, lovely people, especially my colleagues, fellow workers. Now, I'm not talking to those who play truants, the very hard workers who contribute their quota to nation building, productivity as well. It's our month, yes, and recently we celebrated ourselves as the Labor Day, May 1st, and usually we focus at the moment, or that day usually is around, can our take home take us home? It's always the question, but the truth is there are so many things we can do to ensure that that take home actually takes us beyond home and sometimes even around other places. That will be our thrust today. What are those things we're doing to ensure that the take home takes us home, makes the home very comfortable, and enjoy ourselves? More like, how can you double the little salary or the so-called tiny salary you receive? If it's really tiny, as we assume. But before then, I'd like you to know that before today, we actually had a whole lot happening. Just before the weekend, I was with Coach Didi. Yes, I was with Coach Didi, and she's seated right here now. She had something special happening around her environment. If the director can get us a bit of that piece, that would be nice. I witnessed you, do your symposium on the unmasking, abuses, hidden abuses. And for me, it was a special one, especially when we had to do your book launch. It's beautiful. The Broken Woman, story of the Broken Woman is a reflection of all of us. And a lot of people were there. That's the special advisor to the governor, to the president on health matters. I see the IG as well. She was there. It was a very glamorous day for all of us. AIG, sorry. It was a very glamorous day for all of us. Women came out en masse. At the point, I thought it was all police affair. But then I realized when I talked with one of them that they needed to know, because they are the ones that really control most of these abuses. Highlight for me was that book launch. And we had entertainment and every joy. You missed out, sorry.
I did. I wasn't around.
Devon missed out as well. And we had time to, fraternize, to network and all of that. But generally, I'd like to know, for you, how was the feeling?
Honestly, it felt good. It felt, as a person, as a coach, I felt validated. As a woman, I felt community. Because here are women who are successful in every right, career women, mothers, wives, friends, sisters-in-law, and we all had the same story in different shades, but the same story. We talk a lot about abuse, but we focus more on physical abuse because it leaves bruises, it leaves a mark.
True.
Unlike emotional abuse, hidden abuse is not seen. We're talking about financial control, we're talking about reproductive coercion, we're talking about even just meanness that sometimes you don't even know, and that's the highlight for many women. Many women say they didn't even know it was abuse.
True.
So it was really an awareness program, and
yes,
it was
beautiful.
Good
to happen. And I like the part that the food was plenty on the table. Coach Didi spoiled everybody with food. And one funny thing about Coach Didi, you think that she eats a lot. She has this bond with food, but she doesn't get to eat. Recently on Sunday, director, let's see where Coach Didi was hoarding food. On a Joyce, that is it. She was actually hoarding food. It was Joyce's birthday, yes. And I tried to take a bit from what she had, and she said no, and had to, hide it all herself. But I sat down, watched to see if she can finish the whole food. She did it. Joy, congratulations on your birthday again.
Thank you very much.
And how was the celebration for you?
It was fun. You guys made it fun for me.
We loved it.
Yes, you guys made it fun for me, and there's now good friends, good sisters who are always there for you. Good times, bad times, and I didn't want the day to end.
That's Devon.
Yeah, I didn't want the day to end. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. Thank you guys for making it beautiful for me.
Honestly, I had to beg her to invite us for the next year.
I like the fact that you made effort to make it all women. I know you have male friends, so that way a lot of us who are very shy, we were able to express ourselves fully.
Oh my God!
And the fact that the four of us turned up without even planning it, it was fun too.
It was fun.
I like that so much. Your friends sang for you, and that's Sister Angel.
Yes.
And it was a lovely time.
Yes, it was.
I'm going to ask the director to see if she can play up where you actually sang for us.
Can I go on that part? I can't remember her singing.
She sang for us,
her, didn't we?
If you have it, let's see. Let's
see who is correct now. Did we sing or did she sing? Or did we all sing?
No, Joy is calling
too.
Okay, well.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember when you did it?
I think I did.
Joy is come, all right. Joy is come, all right. All right. Okay. Go Joy, go Joy, go Joy, go Joy. Yes, sir. I want you to wish. I want to marry a billionaire. Make a wish. No, I want to marry a billionaire. A billionaire. Why not? A billionaire. With money.
Thank you so much. See your wish. I said, what was your wish? She said, I want to marry a billionaire. Was it billionaire or millionaire?
Not billionaire.
Millionaire? Why?
Why did you go do
billionaire?
Okay. Thank God we're talking money. And talking
talking
about money, we have someone who is well vested in money affairs. He will join us from the other side of the studio, Mr. Francis. Let's if we can get Mr. Francis, can you quickly introduce yourself?
My name is Francis Okumagba, a wealth coach, mentor, business expert, and I help people succeed what they do.
All right. Let's quickly touch base with all of us as we celebrated May Day. The essence of the whole event, he captured it. Here, are you ready? Can we have it played?
The Nigerian Workers' Day 2025 theme, Reclaiming the Civic Space, is one that demands our collective attention and serves as a stark reminder of the need to create an environment where every worker feels safe, valued, and empowered to contribute productively to the growth and prosperity of our nation. And so it was not far-fetched that this was echoed in the speech of the NLC's president.
Solidarity! Forever! My president says, solidarity! Forever! Solidarity! Forever! These days, 10, reclaiming the civic space in the midst of economic hardship calls us to defend democracy, resist repression, and rebuild Nigeria on justice. The civic space where voices challenge injustice and demand accountability is under siege. Policies are imposed without workers' input. Protests are met with brutality, and dissent is criminalized.
Let us reclaim the civic space, even in the midst of the economic hardship, so that we can address our fears and worries as workers and as masses. Let us therefore live here today with fire in our hearts.
Salute your dedication, perseverance, and patriotism. This Workers' Day is a celebration of your achievements and a reminder of the limitless potential we hold as a united and determined people.
Also in the midst of the day celebration, a 20-point demand was made by the NLC to the federal government, some of which include better retirement packages for civil servants, tax cuts, the reversal of the state of emergency declared in Rivers State, amongst others. As always, the climax of the event was the march past of Nigerian workers in their union.
Petroleum and natural gas. Thank you for being part of us.
That was a celebration of May Day in Abuja. I wish we had opportunity of finding out what happened in other states. But I know it's essentially the same thing, and laborers and workers all come out en masse to celebrate themselves. One thing we always talk about is our money, our welfare. But of course, it tells me that every day we wake up, rub and shine to go out there and make money. And if we don't make enough of it, it becomes a problem. But is man really very satiable, Devon? Is man satiable? Is there any amount of money you pay any man, he says?
Not really. It requires a lot of self-discipline to be able to develop a spirit of contentment, so that it's good to be ambitious, but you should also know where you're going to draw the line. There should be certain things, for me anyway, this is my philosophy, there are certain things I would rather not do for money. And it's not about, I can't get my hands dirty. No. I'm just saying that things that do not align with my principles ordinarily as a person or my values, So there are certain things that I would rather not be involved in, wouldn't want my name associated with such. But notice I'm also picking my words carefully. I'm saying would rather not be associated with, and so when
you're pushed to the wall.
Unless I'm pushed to the wall. When you're in survival mode, anything can happen.
Almost anything.
Exactly, almost anything. The thing is, I read somewhere, and it made sense to me. The person said, morality is a luxury. And I was like, what is this person talking about? Everybody must have some basic sense of right and wrong, what they will not do. But then I also remember that I've never been at a point in my life where I woke up and didn't know where my next meal is coming from, didn't know where I would lay my head.
Sure.
I've never been desperate in my life. My needs, at the very least, my needs have always been met. I have never been rock bottom, as in, I've not eaten in 3 days. I'm drinking only sugar water. And I've never, if I'm ever pushed to that point, even these things I'm saying, I would rather not. Will I do? I don't know.
Yeah.
True. It happens.
Very true.
It happens. Now, I want to touch base with our business and mentorship coach in the house, that's Mr. Francis. A lot of times we complain our take home cannot take us home. And from what Francis Devon just told us, there's no amount of money will be paid that will say, okay, we have reached that point where we begin to reject money. Somebody sang a song, he said, Dangote, still they find money. So to be able to get to at least satisfy certain needs, I'd like to know, are there things civil servants, workers, whether state, federal, local government, can engage in peacefully to make meaningful money for them?
There are so many things that civil servants can do to make money. I know there's a restriction for civil servants. They can't do business, but they can do agric, and they can actually help people around them. The truth about it is that money continues to flow in the streets of Nigeria and the world. But there's a change that people have to adjust to. You need to change the way you think, the way you see life, and the way you do things. Technology has come, and all the civil servants need to do today is to work with technology. And I see that a lot of them are working from home some part of the week. And if you do that, then you can actually make money just helping people around you. For example, you can employ people and make money in Nigeria today. You can sell anything online and make in excess of 1 million naira. I dare you to come up with any type of thing you want to do. You can make in excess of 1 million naira a month. People don't know that we have a crisis with our thinking. We have a crisis with our thinking because we have developed role models who don't do anything and make money. So people are a little bit lazy with their thinking. Technology has changed the dynamics of doing business, of doing things, but people are used to doing things the way they are used to doing things. Let me give you an example. There's a lot of unemployment today in Nigeria. Do you know what we need to do to solve the problem of unemployment? Is employ people. Put a notice out there today that you want to employ somebody. You have too many people out there looking for how they can get employed. Just go out and employ somebody. Call it a digital marketer. Promise to pay the digital marketer 300,000 naira a month. Put him in an office or put him somewhere to work remotely and tell him all you'll be doing for me is sell things for people online. Then go and look for 5 people that have what to sell and tell them, come to me. I will help you send your things out there and over 10,000 people will see it to buy. But you pay me 50,000 naira a month. If that advert is extended to about 100 people and you get them to come to use that digital marketer to sell their things online, you will make in excess of 1 million naira. I dare anybody. Whatever you want to sell today, you can make in excess of 1 million naira a month using the social media and engaging somebody to employ to do that work for you. So you don't, as a civil servant, you don't even need to move from your office. Employ somebody, solve a problem in society. You will make in excess of 1 million naira. There are so many ways you can make money. Sugarcane, yam, dare me with what you want to do. You will sit right in your office and you'll be making money. All you need to do is solve society problems and pick on people who have talent and use them and get them to pay you commission in using them. You make a lot of money.
All right. You keep stressing the fact that I can make 1 million naira in a month just doing a particular thing. For instance, a civil servant who is sitting down in the office typically for 8 hours, sometimes more, but for some people, less. On a practical basis, my salary is maybe 150, and I have a whole lot I'm doing with money. How do I double up that 150 to give me 300 or 450, for instance, because I need to satiate other things? You're talking about using, this 150 that you're going to pay house rent, pay school fees, do feeding. Where do I extract money? And I need practical terms to be able to pay for other things and then still invest.
150,000 cannot take you home, because if you look at 150,000 in today's environment, if you have to pay transport, you have to pay rent, you probably have nothing left to actually do things you need to do, and you need to pay school fees of your children. So the dynamics that has changed today is that there's a new thinking. The social media, for instance, is available. You have your phone in your hands. You can make 1 million naira using your phone. There are people that are selling things today. They are still thinking old school. They are looking for money to open a shop, to stock the shop, to sell in the shop. A civil servant can look for somebody that is ignorant, that is still thinking old school, and tell him, I will help you sell. I will help you sell. And just take the item they are selling, take the picture, and put it online today, and make sure you get the right price and the discount that you can get from that person selling that item. Put it online today, or get somebody that you employ to put it online for you, and make sure 10,000 people see it. That civil servant can make 1 million naira a month. So what I'm saying in essence is that don't be focused on just what you do. In today's dynamics, the social media has opened up a lot of opportunities. I tell you, even people that are talented today, they're on the street looking for who will help them. So the knowledge and understanding that person that is talented, you can use the person to make money. You can easily get the person and get his number and direct him to people that need his services, and he will be paying you commission. Some
people say that civil servants are not supposed to take on certain jobs, but he was able to put together the jobs that are permissible, for us civil servants to engage in, while we're still in service. And at the same time, how much can you make doing them? Let's say it.
As a civil servant, I'm sure that you already think that your pay cannot take you home. But do you know that you can make that pay of yours double up, take it home, and then save some more? How? Just keep watching. some of the jobs that you can engage in to double up your income. We'll head back into the studio for more discussions on this.
That was quite an expo for all of us. I'm a civil servant, and I'm not going to say what I do, on the side, but I know that Coach Didi, you left us and ran away.
Yes, sir.
So, when you were there as a civil servant, how was your side hustle for you?
To be honest, with the typical Nigerian civil service, we had too much time on our hands, so I decided to start going to school. I started going for online trainings and took leave to go on training, and then I started coaching. And like most people, I didn't think it was just a side hustle. And for me, it wasn't even a hustle in the beginning. It was just empowerment. It was personal development. I never knew I could make a career in coaching. And over time, I just hated going to work. When I'm coaching, I feel good. I love the excitement of coaching. And honestly, it was a no-brainer when I did realize that I just had to leave and concentrate fully on coaching. And I think that's one thing I have told so many people, especially in pre-retirement trainings. We have to do them earlier. That is why we have civil servants who retire and go into depression. Mm-hmm. Because all their life, the only thing they've been doing for 30, 35 years is one single thing. And then they retire, they don't know what to do. So they are, like when the expert here, the coach said something about agriculture. Agriculture is wide. And the value chain of agriculture is really, really wide. So there are so many things people can do. And about investing, about spending money, sometimes there are things you can do without really, he has just said it. Get the people who, people's wants, get the people who can supply, and be the intermediary. Mm-hmm. The problem
that's the middleman.
Yeah, the middleman. The problem is, just like he said, we don't think. As a people, we don't think. So we rather wallow in self-pity and just blaming government, blaming everybody except ourselves. We don't take responsibility.
Joy, I know you've never worked for government, but I also know that you while doing your own business, you may have employed some mechanism or techniques that makes it work for you. Going back on what the business coach told us, how does the social media, like he stressed, influence or assist you in your goals of achieving what you need to do?
What I normally used to do before was doing contracts. And if you know this climate, it's a crazy climate. You're doing contracts, they're owing you for years. And one day I sat down and I said, why do I have to go through all this torture? So I sat down and I said, look, let me do something else. Let me sell. Let me make clothes. Like the coach said, you don't have to open a shop. Because if you open a shop, by the time you start thinking of all the other things,
expenses,
from light to rent, Abuja's rent is crazy. Mm-hmm. So you now find out that those outfits that you want to sell, they are overpriced. So nobody's going to buy it from you. But one thing I noticed now, that because I am online, I sell cheaper. I remembered the shirt I wore during my birthday. It's so expensive. But guess what? I've dropped down the price. As at today, I already have orders for 50.
Wow.
So you see, the thing here is that you have to think outside the box. I like to cook. So, like I said, when my friends came into town, they now realized that they didn't have places that they could eat Yoruba food. And what did they say? They said, can you do me ayamashi and all those kind of things, because they don't see it around. And I did them. And I know that the thing is that people are waiting to see big money. But you see, one thing I love about this money is that it sorts my needs. Needs are very important, from your light to your gas to your fuel for your car. Those necessities. Because I always tell people that there are necessities and there are others. Because I always tell people that, look, if you can have money that can sort your daily need, then you are sorted. The only time that I feel so bad sometimes is that I go to the hospital and I see the bill that they give me and I say, God, if I don't work, how do I pay these bills? So the thing now is that all of us have to sit down and just decide that, look, we have to do hustle. He keeps saying 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. I'm praying that I'll be able to think like he thinks,
Yeah.
and let me be making 1 million every month. If I can make 1 million every month, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I went to Abeokuta last week. The normal me is that I make the things in Adire. And I just decided when I got there, and I realized that, look, most of the Adires that we have here are 4 yards or 4 yards, 2 inches. But I made sure that I went there to get 5 yards. So the cost of the ones they're selling here is not going to be the same cost as the one I'm selling. And I said, okay, do you want to buy the Adire itself, or do you want me to make it? I realize now that I'm selling the Adire itself and I'm making more money, and I just opted out to do, you make, you sell. So you have to be smart when it
So
comes
that
to
way it comes out
Options, giving people, your customers options.
cheaper.
yes, I'm giving my customers options. So and I'm making my money back.
And I want Ayama shares too, a bit.
Definitely, back to what she said. She said she was a contractor. And I know that contractors dream big, think big, work big, and earn big. And then suddenly she received sense, like Coach will always tell us, Kulu received sense, and decided to go into other things like tailoring and cooking. The money may not be at the same level, but she was able to switch over, and she's solving her problems.
Yeah.
Now, I have you noticed that a lot of us civil servants, we think, okay, because we're in a certain position, and our neighborhood sees us in a different way, a certain way, so we don't want to get into other side hustles. Why do we think like that?
It's because of who we are culturally as Nigerians, and let me explain.
Is it Nigerians or human beings?
I cannot speak for other.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm structuring what I'm saying around my cultural context. You see, let me give an example. I saw, let me say, my sister-in-law, she's selling stuff online, jewelry. And I watched some of her videos where she say, oh, please come and buy from me. Very sweet videos, and everything. And, I've had some experience in marketing. I picked the phone up to tell the young lady that I know what you're trying to do, and everything. You feel that by being that way, you're likely going to attract customers. But people are strange. The fact that you're using please and all of this, they will boycott you. They won't go there. They'll think you are desperate. You think you are being courteous. They think you are desperate. So what you do is just showcase what you have in the best way you possibly can, and then let people who want it come for it. But the minute they start hearing, please, you think you are being courteous, you'll be more, they'll stay away. They think you don't have enough customers, so you are begging. Yeah. And that's how the typical Nigerian is, unfortunately. There's this passage in the Bible that says, to him who has not, to him who has shall more be given, and to him who has not, even the little he has shall be taken away. I used to think that was the most unfair thing to read in the Bible. Unfortunately, it happens to be describing what happens in real life. A bank will not give you money until they know you don't need it. There's a saying like that, and it's true.
Yeah, true.
It is true. You have to have collateral
Yes,
to get
yes, you have money.
Yes. So the really poor person that cannot find food,
Cannot afford it.
a bank is not going to give you money. You understand? Yeah. That's how life goes. So let's imagine that you're the Commissioner of Finance somewhere. You were doing so well and everything. You were there for 4 years. You even had 1 or 2 small things going on the side. You were doing well. Then something happened, you got sacked. Within 1 year, you are now on very, very hard times. And then all of a sudden, people see you sitting by the roadside selling fresh bread. You get mocked to kingdom come and back.
True.
And it's not everybody that has the capacity to handle that. It's not that they're saying, I pass to sell bread. It's, okay, I start selling bread. My enemies now realize that I'm in such a vulnerable state that they can really stomp me down into the ground and bury me. And so it's a lot of nuances. It's not just, oh, I'm too special to do this. No. You know what your challenges are even within the family. There are some people you are broke in the family, you don't want them to hear. because they're the ones that will go around telling the whole world, this person, when she had money, just once, so I told her that she should give me a loan of 100,000. She refused. Is she not the one now begging people for 10,000?
But seriously, should that influence or affect us in making money?
It should not, but it does.
It shouldn't.
It shouldn't, but it does.
Yeah, true.
All right.
You would think that, for instance, that, okay, somebody who is not solvent right now, let's say the person has 2 cars, the person should sell 1 car now, use that car, put the... But you know what? The minute you sell that 1 car, people are like, life done the hard for this one. You know, and you need those people to patronize you. You understand? So it's a vicious cycle.
Yes.
It requires, I don't blame people who cannot like go down openly for people to see. I don't blame them because it's a vicious world. If you have the capacity to be like, yes, it's bread I'm selling, if you like, mock me, fine. I personally am the kind of person who has the mentality that as long as it's not illegal and you can do it and it will put food on your table, just try, work on your mental state. I personally believe that I'll have the last laugh.
Yes.
So it's okay, laugh at me now.
I'll laugh later.
In the long run, I'm going to be laughing, but I'll be laughing for joy, for myself. Because I'll not come down to your level and laugh at you if you fall on hard times.
You know, we were saying the same. We were saying something just before we came on air about, you know, a staff who uses his own car to like take passengers when he's going home. And I said, look, this is something people could do. Just like what Devon is saying, it's ego. Most of our problems stem from ego and refusal to accept our current reality. Nigeria is hard. Most people don't even drive their cars anymore because they can't afford to fuel it. And I remember I was telling you before we started the show, I said, I remember when we got married newly, myself, I think 1 year or 2 years into our marriage, we lived in Kubwa. When we come into town, when we were going back, we stopped and took passengers going to Kubwa. And that was what we were using to fuel the car. Yes, myself and my husband, both of us in front, and we take 3 passengers at the back. Whatever they paid us was what we used to top fuel the next day. But this is history today. You see, the thing about life is we all go through troubled times. Not accepting it, wanting people to keep seeing. And you see this village people mentality. We don't want our village people to laugh at our misfortune. We don't want our village people to say this. They will still talk nonetheless. I think the most important thing is accepting your reality.
You know, the thing that saddens my heart, like I tell people, I just realize people are always, what will people say about me? What will people say about me? You see, the minute you just remove that mindset, I remembered I fly economy. And most of the time I'm upgraded, maybe world traveler, then maybe I can pay an extra to stay by the aisle. Do you know that people in business class are coming to meet me and they are vexed, they are angry? How are you going to sit down for economy? And I look at all these people. The business class you sat, of what benefits is it giving you? If it was the days of British Caledonia, where I already know who is sitting by me and I'm looking for a business, I can meet the guy then, it's a different thing that we can talk business. Right now, it doesn't work that way. So the bottom line here is that I always tell people, if you're sitting in business class, how much are you earning? How much are you traveling with? I sit in economy, you come and meet me like a week after when we've traveled to tell me that your money is finished. So who gets sense pass? You know, because the biggest problem I notice in Nigeria is that people want people's affirmation.
Yes.
And I feel the minute we change that kind of mindset, then we can move forward.
Okay, let's get back to the business coach, Mr. Francis. You know, a lot has been said here, and for me, it runs around packaging and, how do I add this? Maybe not appreciating yourself as well as you should. Now, what is the place of, packaging? Packaging, I mean, is not the product you're selling, your personal packaging. Devon mentioned about people being too sorry, or being too polite when they are dealing with people. What are those things that affects us when we are dealing, with our online clients? Like you have advised us to go ahead as civil servants. What should I put in place to ensure that people actually patronize me? If I'm snapping picture, what am I thinking about? If I'm posting, what am I thinking about? What are those things I can put out there to give my products or my services a catch?
You see, the mindset is a major issue in our country today. And the mindset is damaged. I can tell you that. When I say money flows in the streets of the world, what I refer to is human beings.
Yeah.
Human beings are the ones you sell to. Yes. Human beings are the ones you buy from. Human beings are the ones that will work for you. Human beings are the ones you work for. Human beings are the ones you collaborate with. If you know how to relate with human beings, and if you know how to get acceptance from human beings, you get most of the results you are looking for. Now let me tell you about packaging. Nobody writes their certificate on their head. Nobody writes the bank account balance you have on your head. What people see is what they use to judge you.
Yeah.
And if you don't present yourself well in your grooming, packaging, and presentation, people will not recognize you. You will not get attention. Even on the internet, you need to package yourself well, present yourself well. I'm not talking about what the Gen Zs are looking out for. What the Gen Zs want to see is how naked you are, how more exposed you are. But I'm telling you today that if you can actually package yourself well, present yourself well, and groom well, you will get more audience, you will get more attention. But by the way, I want to make this statement again. Money is on the street. The money on the street are human beings. And Nigeria has the most populated country in the world, in the world today. When I say the world, I'm saying that because we have a lot of people. Our market is very big with ignorant people. Because of the ignorance, it makes the market very viable for people that understand what to do. But today, those who are talented are on the street looking for what they will do, looking for who will use them. Those who have money don't know what to do with their monies. And those who are in power don't have time. We don't have people that coordinate them. Just know how to put people together. You will make money. Employing people and giving them what to do. You can also sell for people that are ignorant today, who are still looking for how they will fund a rented place, stock the place, and start buying. You don't need to stock. You can be a landlord without 1 naira today in the market. You can sell anything in Nigeria today and make in excess of 1 million naira a month, including grass. I'm asking you to challenge me. What we really need to do in Nigeria today is to reorientate the mindset of our people. The mindset is damaged. We have leaders who have presented themselves as role models, who don't do anything but make money. We have people who are having vices like Boko Haram in the north, kidnapping all over the place, Yahoo. They are making money and they are being projected as role models. Yeah. So we have a lot of people today who are not thinking anymore. You are a function of your mindset. The way you are brought up by your parents, the type of school you go to, the religious set that you belong, the culture and tradition actually create a lot of walls in our mindsets. And that is what is holding Nigerians, a lot of Nigerians down today. And I plead with parents to change their parenting styles. Schools to start looking at how they can reorientate the mindset of our people. Poverty is nothing. I keep saying it. You don't need to do anything in Nigeria to make money, because if you get someone that is selling something today that is ignorant, take the picture of what he's selling. Get someone that can put it online and sit in the middle, you make 1 million naira.
Somebody sent us a message here. It says, a civil servant is permitted to do agriculture while in service. The agricultural sector is quite diverse and you could choose a subsector to work with. I myself am a civil servant and I actually get involved in poultry and it's doing well. I sell my eggs and I sell the chicken. Thank you. And I think I know this person, John, because I think I bought eggs and chicken from him. His eggs are actually very nice and his chicken quite hefty.
This was the first time I went to Abeokuta. I went by train, which was very...
Oh, train!
Yeah, I went by train and it was fantastic.
That's nice.
Yes. But do you know what? By the time I got there, I now met different people who were selling. And they told me that all I needed to do was that I shouldn't waste money to come there anymore. Yeah. That I should just tell them they will send me what I need and they will send it to Abuja. And you know, when they told me all that, because I like to feel the fabric and buy, it's very, very important. You can see something, and when they send the thing to you, it's different. Exactly. Then, and I started calculating the cost of the airfare to Lagos, from the airfare, then the transport to Abeokuta, all around Abeokuta, and I realized I was saving a lot. So, like I say, like he said, the internet. What are we using our phones? Because we use our phones for the wrong things. We use it to take pictures, have fun, talk on the phone and all that.
Post your pictures.
So the thing here is that we can use our phone to make money.
You know, even if you want to post your picture, if your picture is part of what you're selling.
Yes.
For instance, I know that you post
Yes.
on daily basis.
Yes, I do.
And you do that to showcase your outfit.
Yes.
You know, Chingos by Joy. If that's what you're doing, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
But if you're just posting to show us your face, and I feel your face didn't change from yesterday.
I would call myself maybe a mini influencer. I have about 47,000 followers on Facebook.
Wow.
It's intentional. It's intentional. Initially, everything I was doing was text-based. Then I now noticed that the odd once in a while that I'll add a picture to it, I'll get more more views, more comments, more interaction with that. So I now got to a place where I was like, okay, this is not just a coincidence. Clearly, there's something about pictures and videos that help you gain more traction.
Oh, yes, true.
So now every post I put up, I put a nice picture of myself. You know, first of all, I like looking good. And if I look good today and I want to snap a nice picture and celebrate the fact, say, God had mercy on me and allowed me to wake up today and even snap a picture. And then I put a nice post and people go there and interact with it. That's how I was stuck at 12,000 people for like 4 or 5 years. This 47,000 I'm talking now came within a span of less than 1 year. Because I started adding pictures to my posts. Nice, decent pictures. You'll not find me exposing anything, you know. So, and the thing is this, social capital. You need people. Whether these people are going to be online, whether they're in the physical, somehow, you need people. When you have people, opportunities come from people. Yes. And then again, what am I posting about? I post commonsensical stuff. You will not, for the life of, once in a while I'll post something funny and things like that, but I avoid posting things that...
controversial things.
Controversy is good. Oh. It helps you but it depends on the kind of controversy. I will not, I try to avoid man and woman bedroom nakedness kind of thing. So for the most part, I like to think that my content on my Facebook page particularly is reasonably wholesome. It's not the kind of thing that would embarrass anybody, you know, and things like that. So, yeah.
You know, so if you have that number of people, you can actually begin, like Mr. Francis said, to take on adverts, you know, on your page and make money.
Exactly. Yes. I'm hoping that very soon I hit 100,000 people. It's intentional.
You know, when you were saying something about the person who sent a message about selling chicken and eggs, it reminded me of something. Not bringing a little humor. A few years ago, I remember my neighbor when ShopRite came into being, and at ShopRite Okumagba. So I stopped buying eggs from our local vendor. And I started buying eggs in ShopRite, you know, eggs that are washed and cleaned inside that plastic that even had a stamp on it. And I remember she told me about a friend of hers who had opened a farm, and her eggs were relatively cheap. And I said, no, I don't buy poo-poo eggs. You know, why this? It reminded me because a few days ago she sent me a message and we laughed over it until the eggs became ridiculously expensive in ShopRite.
You know,
then I went back to poo-poo eggs. But the thing is, I remember she was saying that, hey, Kujiji, she calls me neighbor. I remember your poo-poo eggs matter, but I want to ask this now on air. Why is it those who own these farms, why can they not wash these eggs?
You know, it goes back to what I was talking about, you know, packaging, not just the eggs. If you want something to sell real fast, usually, you know, when a food is before you, the eyes eat first before the mouth eats, you know, and usually the eye goes to straight up what is beautiful. So if you want to be able to sell, you know, fast, they need to, you know, have a good sense of presentation.
Is it about presentation or even about hygiene?
Not just hygiene.
Selling eggs, the droppings of the chickens are all over the eggs.
Not just hygiene, you know. Those people are always in a hurry. They believe you can handle it. So I mean, if you're...
Apart from that, the chances of getting so many broken eggs is very high.
When you wash them?
Yes. Not because you, the owner, you will not be the one washing all the eggs now. So those hands that you've hired, they are not going to be as careful as you. So as long as the whole thing is not covered in a solid cake of poop, if it's just all those small, you just sell it like that. Like me, for instance, I wash my eggs.
We have to wash them.
I use soap, wash the thing and rinse it properly because when you get salmonella poisoning, the stomach pain that follows that thing,
it's awful.
It's awful. So even if there's no small stain of anything, I still wash it before breaking.
So not even just the egg, like you mentioned, it's important. Whatever we do, you put a lot of packaging.
But packaging is very important.
I can make clothes for you. People have made clothes that I never really wore, But when they bring it, the way they package it, put in a nice looking bag and all of that, when you see it, you're excited. So you may open it, may not be that what you really wanted. But the fact is, I would appreciate it if it comes with good, nice packaging.
Yeah.
Whatever we find ourselves doing, even if you're selling yam, you're selling potato, make a good package. In the offices, like Mr. Francis told us, money is in the streets of Abuja, money is in the streets of Nigeria, and he now told us that the money are human beings. You work in an establishment, 2,000 people, you're from Benue, where food is plenty, and people are not buying your yam, then something is wrong. Something is wrong.
Like you said, you don't even have to be the one
you
farming.
don't even need to
you
go.
just have to have a contact of person who's
Exactly.
farming and get the buyers.
From Benue, Makurdi, wherever it is. And then your own is to tell your colleagues, I sell yam. And because you're not putting it in a shop, you will find out that you can drop, if yam is 3,500 in the market, you can sell for 3,200. And you still make the gain. So I'd like to know, what is that which is pushing people back beyond their mindsets? What is that pushing people back from really going out to, chase the rainbow and get caught up with more money?
Mindsets and fixations, conditioning. There are a lot of people that are conditioned traditionally, culturally, religiously, and they also follow trends in the social media today that actually distract them from their focus. Nobody is complete. If you really want to succeed in life, you must collaborate with somebody that has what you don't have. Today, there are a lot of people that have what to sell, but they don't have the presence, the profiling, the packaging, and the reach to reach the market that will actually buy what they are selling. So they are stuck there selling in a particular remote area where people don't see their product. There are some people today who know how to use the social media. They have their phones. They can reach 10,000 people sitting in their home without doing anything. But these people don't collaborate because everybody wants to be themselves. And if you want to walk alone, you can't go far. The 1 million I keep saying continuously that you can make a month easily, it's not 1 million that you can do on your own. But if you know how to collaborate with somebody that has what you don't have, you will make in excess of 1 million naira. Selling anything in Nigeria today, because there's an internet person, a digital marketer that is very good, that can sell to 10,000 people whatever you want to sell today. I want to come back to civil servant. You can make over 1 million naira working. Change the way you think. Change the way you see life. And change the way you do things. The way you do things have changed. You cannot continue to do things the way you have been doing things. And a lot of us are fixed in our mindset. As you get older, the indoctrination and conditioning that upbringing, tradition, culture, and religion put in our minds actually limit us from seeing what we need to see. Again, there is money on the streets of Nigeria.
Okay. Now, beyond doing, getting involved in businesses, I'd like to know, maybe from the ladies now, what are those things we can supplement, to make things easier? The lifestyles we can change, to make things easier for us.
When you took it, do you get the same
value?
All right, let me tell you, like me, I don't do washing machine. With all my stuff that I do. You see, because it's not easy to be a plus size and just go into any shop to get stuff, especially from our underwears. So now I wash, and I wash non-bio, Persil. It's been very difficult for me to see a Nigerian made, I've done everything possible. So what I try to do is that I just put everything together to save costs. But sometimes it can be a bit messy. I've looked everywhere. I will keep looking for, because I know I cannot buy Persil at that price and survive. It's not going to work. The fleets are so expensive. I decided to buy a cheaper fleet, and the smell was, look, it almost killed me. I couldn't even sleep. So the essence now is that
you're doing the fleet because of mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You want to fleet because you see ants and all that. Devin is laughing. So you see, the thing here is that you want to buy a cheaper thing, and it's giving you more issues than you're expecting. So now the smell was there. I started feeling sick, so I had to go spend more money again at the hospital.
Is that why you have a cold?
Yeah, that's why I have a cold.
Is it Rich Lagos auntie syndrome?
No, that's not true. It's not true.
I kind of agree with Joy. It's not everywhere that you can cut.
It's not everywhere, but there are some
What are you
things.
saying? Parcel?
How
many people use parcel?
I don't use parcel.
How many people use parcel in Nigeria?
Liz was talking about dishwashing.
Yes,
liquid,
yes.
you know, but you decided to talk about.
Yes.
I don't use parcel. I use.
It's always an
the
alternative.
other ones, let me not.
Please,
promote
you see,
anything.
after the show,
Yeah.
I need you to give me another
No,
alternative.
I don't have, because
Yeah.
you know me, I'm not Rich Lagos auntie, so me, I'm
No,
already
it's
used to.
not about Rich Lagos auntie. You see, the thing here is that I wear whites a lot, and my underwears, I cannot put it in the what do you call it?
In the machine.
In the machine.
Yeah.
Because if you put your underwears in the machine, especially your bras, all the wires are gone.
Yeah, true.
So if it was the days that we were doing non-wired, it was fine. So you have to realize that, look, you cannot buy something for the price that I buy.
Yeah.
And
We're back at it. It's Rich Lagos
it's
auntie.
not rich. And you see, sometimes your size again is a problem. So you see, you can just pop into that shop and get something that is so cheap. I can pop into that shop to get something cheap. So because I'm spending that kind of money, I have to protect what I have.
Rich Lagos
Anyway, what I think here, beyond the laundry, a lot of things happen at home.
Food.
You know, food.
Yes.
There are lots of ways we can begin to save
Yeah.
money. You know, I see Nigerians, you know, waste a lot of food.
I don't use AC anymore.
You know, people should
Because
not
of
waste
cost.
food.
I don't.
People
I use
should-
the fan.
I won't be able to sleep.
Oh no, sorry.
People should
No,
learn
no,
to,
the
you know,
heat is too much.
Band-Aid.
If that
Band-Aid.
is, I agree.
No.
So than to skimp on the AC that will keep, and then
Yeah.
the next thing I go through all that heat, and then the next thing you hear say, then don't give me bed for hospital for 5 days.
you can use AC. But
No, you know what? Put the AC on before you get into
No,
your room.
my take is,
Yeah.
if you're not too many in the house, you know, you can decide to, you know,
Sleep in one
share-
room, yeah.
yes, it does.
Sleep in
Like,
one room.
Yes, and there are these new fans that have water.
Yes.
They cool.
Yes.
See,
Yes.
there's always
When
an
you
alternative.
those fans have been there
But
forever.
there's always an
Yes.
alternative.
They are there. They're always in there. So you can load in an ice block
Yes.
inside.
Yes, and then
inside,
you
and
have
it's like
a nice
Okay, but look at
It
what
does work.
happened. Sorry, I'm going to call that company on air, Fiber One, because I realized that I was buying data for everybody, and I was having issues with my MTN stuff. So I now decided to do Fiber One. I have paid for that because the
Fiber
kids
One?
were the
Fiber
kids were
One.
on holiday, because I realized that I didn't want to pay too much for data. It's a month today, and still the kids have all gone back to school. Those people have not fixed that thing, and I wanted to save costs.
Or is it the fiber optics thing?
Yes, the fiber
Oh,
optics
okay,
one.
okay,
So
okay.
you see, sometimes you try to save cost, and the people because like I told them, you're giving them money, and they are understaffed. So like he said, why don't you use the people? More people.
Employ
and,
more people.
And get more. You see, it's because you're paying them, you can't get refunds. So you are their mercy, and they really do
You know,
not care.
for the particular company you mentioned, I've actually tried to do a lot of vox pop. There is nobody they have attended to that
Yes.
didn't go through the same problem. So it simply
in that
means
case,
that
I'm going to note them down.
You know, consumer rights. Consumer rights in Nigeria
at
is
the
a
end
joke.
of the day, they will actually work with it. It's essentially the same thing, you know. So I think that they need to employ more people
yes.
so that when you're talking about them, their referrals
They
will
are
be better.
understaffed.
But just before we go, I would like Mr. Francis to give us a last tip for Nigerian workers, because we need the money.
Nigerian workers should just learn to change the way they think, the way they see life, and the way they do things. The life has changed. There is money on the street. If you are paid 150,000, if you pay somebody 50,000 naira, you can use that person to make 1 million naira. If you don't know how to do it, look for me in the social media. I will hold your hands and show you how to do it. We need to reorientate the mindset of our people. The difference between the rich and the poor is the way you think. If you can change the way you think, you will see changes in your life.
Yep. Devon, your last word?
Well, just learn to think outside the box.
That's a good one.
I think I'll go with that as well. And basically what he said, we have to learn to think outside the box.
Okay.
We have to do things differently to get better results.
All right, employ your rules of alternative cost is always very important. For everything you do, there is always an alternative. Identify the alternative. Find out if it's safe so you don't go sneezing like Joy, and then find out if it's cheaper and go for it. Bye.